Hello gamers all over the world, I'm Atano Circus and I'm going to be guiding you through a game that I've recently discovered that I really love. It's a real-time strategy game called, as you can see, LittleWarGame, not to be confused with the one that you can purchase as an app. It was made by Jib, he's in game as Jibs. And here's the cool thing about LittleWarGame. You might be wondering, ew, what a nice game. Did you get it on Steam? Is it on Congregate? Did you have to download something? Is there a monthly subscription? The answer is no to all of that. LittleWarGame is actually, see, using HTML5, those of you in the know probably already guessed, but LittleWarGame is actually a real-time strategy game that looks just like this in your browser. Ah, see, it's in your browser. All you have to do is just go type littlewargame.com and enter. And that's it. There's nothing you have to pay for. You don't have to sign up for some subscription. There's no plugins. There's no downloads. There's actually nothing stopping you from just taking your browser and going and starting this game. So what I'm going to do, and look. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, see. We're just going to go play. And I'm going to guide you through what the basics units are in LittleWarGame. But before I do that and give you a more in-depth introduction, if you like what you see here, look at the quick links. Yeah, LittleWarGame has a Facebook, Twitter, a blog. I highly encourage you to look at the blog and the forums because the creator, he's on there as Jibs, J-B-S. He's an incredibly active developer. He constantly squashes bugs, talks to the community, encourages growth, encourages interviews. He's just very supportive of his own effort. And it's good to see in this environment that although he's primarily doing it alone, he's not interested in just, oh, well, I'm going to make this kind of good, and I could be better, but I think it's good enough. We're just going to leave it alone and just kind of let it sit. And you won't hear an update from me for months or years. No, Jibs is incredibly active. So if you want to see what he's talking about, just look at the forums. There's also a subreddit. First off, woot to Reddit, because Reddit is getting a lot of people into this game. It's actually how I found the game. So now I'm going to log in. I'm going to do single player just so that we can show what the basic units are. We're not going to dive right into multiplayer. There's just a lot of skill variance in multiplayer, and I want to introduce you to what the basic units are. So we're going to go into single player. Look at all these maps generated by tons of users. I actually like the Route 1.5. Oh yeah, let's give it up to TZK, the man who made this map. It's amazing. No, we don't want that many computers. We'll actually just keep the computer, yeah, on our team. There you go. Okay, so now computer's going to spawn over here in the blue section. I'm going to spawn over here because we're allied. We're going to see each other. And this should give me more than enough time to explain what all the units are. So let's go. We're not going to talk too in-depth about strategy, just what the units themselves are. So, yeah, we're just going to continue after victory because we're allied, so we win. Now, here's your castle. Your castle is your primary structure. If you've played other RTSs like Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun, Rise of Nations, Praetorians, StarCraft, Warcraft, then this is a pretty familiar thing to you. The primary purpose of the castle is that it's the point at which workers can take gold from this gold mine. Here's our worker. See? And here's our gold mine. And they're going to travel from here to there and give us gold. Every trip they make, they're going to give us 5 gold. See? 250. Bam! 255. All right. So that's what the castle does. It allows us to make workers. Workers, they're not peons, they're not slaves, they're not whatever else you want to call them. In this game, they are workers. As the little footnote notices, they gather gold and they construct buildings. They can also fight, but they're not very good at it. There are some builds you can do where they're good at fighting, but we're not worried about strategy right now. I'm just introducing you to the game itself. So you'll note that we have a timer. Very useful if you're into the art of improvement. You can say, I had this by this time, but now I have this by that time. Yeah. Here's gold. Gold is our only resource. It only comes from gold mines. Gold mines start with 6,000. Look, that has, this right here has 5,995 because we took 5 out of it. Look, 6,000, 6,000, yeah. And here's our population versus supply. In this game, if for those of you who have not played any real-time strategy games before, typically in real-time strategy games you have a limit on the amount of units that you can have on the field, and you have structures that you have to build to increase the amount of units that you can have on the field. Right now, we can only have 10 units or 10 supply worth of units. Some units take up different supply. For example, this guy right here, workers, he only takes up 1. We have 5 of them. So we have used up 5 of our supply. We have 5 population and 10 total supply. Now, we're going to send these guys to mine so we can just get some money. And we're going to go over here to the castle. Now, if you notice, first off, you can create a worker just by clicking the button here, and it will start the worker. And what we're going to do is we're going to rally that worker over here into our gold mine, so that when he pops out, bam, he's going to automatically start making, heading to the gold mine and getting resources for us. Now, if you want to, what you can do is instead of just clicking E, you can just, look, mouse is away from the key, mouse is away rather from the E, and you just type E on your keyboard. Bam! Start another worker. That's actually a neat trick for making things faster. Excuse me. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these workers when they're coming back. We're going to take you. Now we're going to make a house, because we're going to want to keep making workers, and we're going to build a house. Now, Q is the hotkey for buildings, if you're just interested, and E is the hotkey for house. House increases your population by 10. You need 1 house to build a barracks. The old tech paths. Alright, so a house actually had its cost reduced in a recent patch, but we don't care about that right now. We just want to build a house so we can build more things. So notice we had our worker, Q for the building, E for the house, and then we click where we want it. Bam! And in about 35 seconds, he's going to be done with that house, and then we're going to have more population, more total supply, so we can have a larger population than 10. That's also important. Because a house, as it said in the tooltip, is going to allow us to build a barracks. A barracks is the primary structure from which you can produce unit producing. A barracks. Let me try that again. A barracks is the primary structure from which we can produce units, and those units are a soldier, a rifleman, and a mage. We can't make the mage right away. He needs further tech to be unlocked. But we can make the soldier and the rifleman. Once this house is done, we're going to go start one, and then I can show you. Look, we'll just click this guy. Now we'll go over here, so he's building out of the way. Q and A is our barracks. Now we could just go Q, A, click. But what I'm actually going to do is we're going to take this guy over here. We're going to press Q, A, here. Q, A, click. Bam. Now he's going to make something for us. And we're about to run out of workers, so we're going to make one more worker. Just a quick note, if you're interested in playing the more serious multiplayer side, someone named Zhao, XAO, in the forums actually discovered this. If you have your castle as close as possible to the gold mine, like we do with our starting castle, the most workers that you can put in it to get an increase in gold is 10. 10 is actually optimal. At 8, up to 8, you get a linear increase in the amount of gold that you get. Past 8, you get diminishing returns. And then past 10, you actually don't gain any more for any extra units that you have. Now, you'll notice that when this guy finishes, I have 11 population to 20 supply. I don't have 11 guys in the gold mine. I just have 10 guys in the gold mine and 1 guy building this barracks here.